Hello, my name is Sam. I am a student of English, and this is my story. I want to tell you about my life in London and my fantastic teacher. You can read my story and learn English with me. It is a beautiful summer day, and I am traveling on a train. Two women are on the train with me, sitting opposite me. The women speak English, but I don't understand much. I study English, but I am a beginner and don't know many words. I start to speak to the women and say some words in my basic English. The women understand what I want to say, and I am happy. I tell them that I want to learn English. They tell me that they are from England and are going home from a conference. Our conversation lasts 10 minutes. The next station is my stop, so I say goodbye. The women give me their address and phone number and tell me that I can visit them in England. After this meeting, I work on my English every day. I translate texts and watch films in English. In 6 months, my English is much better. It is good, but I want to know more. I go to London to study English. When I am in London, I go to a school. My first lesson is on Monday. I meet my teacher and other students in the class. My teacher is a young lady who is very nice. We say our names and where we are from, and then the lesson starts. Our teacher has a question for us. She wants to know how we study English. She says that she can teach us a very effective method to learn English. This method is very simple. Our teacher tells us that we don't have to study or read textbooks, but we have to use English a lot. This is very good for me because I don't like studying or textbooks. We then speak about what is important when we learn a new language. Our teacher tells us that we need languages for communication. Languages help us express and understand ideas. So, when you learn a new language, the best method is to use it for communication, and this is what we will do in our course. We will speak a lot. Many students try to remember new words and study grammar rules, but they don't use English for speaking. They study about the language, but they don't use the language itself. Of course, you need to learn new words and grammar, but you don't have to study them in this course. Our teacher says that she will show us a simple and effective method to learn words and grammar. I like what she says. Our lesson continues, and we speak about our hobbies and what we do in our free time. We speak in pairs or with our teacher. We speak throughout the lesson, and I like it. I am really happy because this system of learning is very good for me. When you want to learn English, use it for communication. On Tuesday, I go to school again. One student asks a very interesting question about the best method to learn new words. Our teacher says that there are many things you can do. For her, reading is the best. If you read, you learn faster than people who don't read. It is good to read for 30 minutes every day. She wants to show us how to get the maximum from reading. It is important that the book or text you read is interesting to you. The book can be a nice story, or the text can have interesting information for your job or hobby. Don't read a text that isn't interesting to you. It is good to read a text in which you know many words. Of course, sometimes you will see words you don't know. When this happens, take a dictionary and look up the word. Continue reading and concentrate only on understanding the text. This method is very simple. Read and translate new words. It is also good because when you read, you learn how words are connected in sentences. This method of learning new words is very effective. Try it and see how fast you can learn new words. We then continue with the lesson and speak about the situation in England and the best jobs for students. This is good because I want to have a job. I ask other students if they know where I can find a job. They tell me that I can go to a job center, which has many jobs for students. This is good for me, and I am happy to know where I can find a job. After school, I go to the job center. I don't know what jobs I can do, so I ask the lady at the job center what the best job for a student is. She tells me that they have some good jobs for students, like being a cleaner or a waiter in a cafe. I tell her that I have no experience with these jobs. She says my English is good enough to work at a cafe. The training is not difficult, and I can use English when I speak to customers. She tells me that I can start my job on Thursday. This is all good for me, and I am happy to have a job where I can use English. When you want to learn new words effectively, read for 30 minutes every day. On Wednesday, I go to school again. There is one student in the class who is quieter than the others. He is from South Korea. When our teacher asks if we have any questions, this student says he has a big problem with pronunciation. He knows his pronunciation is not very good, but he doesn't know how to make it better. He doesn't speak much because he doesn't like his pronunciation. He reads and watches films in English a lot, and he understands very well, but he wants to speak well. He asks if there is something he can do to improve his pronunciation. Our teacher says, "Okay, I can tell you something about pronunciation and how to practice it. I also want to teach you a technique that can help with pronunciation. First, we need to understand why students have problems with pronunciation. When we speak, we have to move our mouth and use muscles. The problem is that when you speak English, sometimes you use your muscles as you do in your native language, which affects your English pronunciation. This happens to many students who learn English. Almost every student has a slightly different pronunciation than native speakers. It is not a big problem, because usually people understand what you want to say. As a student, it is logical that your pronunciation is not perfect when you study English. However, you can work on your pronunciation and improve it. There is a great technique called shadowing that can help you a lot. The technique is very simple. You copy the sounds you hear. When children learn their first language, they copy what they hear from their parents repeatedly, and their pronunciation becomes perfect over time. You can learn English pronunciation the same way. You can take a video that is not too fast and that you understand well. Listen and copy what you hear. That's all. Then our teacher goes to www.youtube.com and finds a good video demonstrating the shadowing technique. We watch the video and try shadowing for about 3 minutes. Our teacher tells us that shadowing is also good when preparing for a presentation and you want good pronunciation. Before the presentation, you can practice shadowing for about 10 minutes to improve your pronunciation. This is very interesting for me because I haven't heard of this technique before. After the lesson, I go to the school reception and ask the lady if there are any sports activities at school. I would like to do some sports in England. The lady at the reception says yes, we have a table tennis team and a football team. The football team has training today at 5 o'clock. I am very happy because sports are very important in my life. I go to the football team's training and meet many players from different countries, such as Brazil, Japan, Ukraine, Spain, Argentina, and Italy. I like the training and am very happy that my time in England is starting well. I have a great teacher, and I also have some new friends from my football team. Tomorrow, I am starting my job. When you want to have good pronunciation, repeat after native speakers. On Thursday, I go to school again. We have a new student in our class. Her name is Monica, and she is from Italy. At the beginning of the lesson, my teacher asks Monica some questions. My teacher knows Monica because she visited her class 1 year ago. It was a class for beginners and lasted only 2 weeks during the summer holiday. When Monica speaks, her English is beautiful. Her pronunciation is very good, and she is very fluent. My teacher is very happy and tells Monica, "Your school in Italy must be very good." Monica says, "I don't go to any school. I learn English at home using techniques from you. I do a lot of reading, shadowing, and thinking aloud. I try to think more in English than in Italian. This is how I work on my English. The 2 weeks I spent in your class last summer helped me a lot. You showed me the way, and I know how to work on my English every day. This is why I wanted to go to your class again. 1 year ago, I was a beginner, and now I can speak English. I want to learn from you again." My teacher is very happy when she hears these words and thanks Monica for her hard work. It is all very interesting for me. I already know about reading and the shadowing technique, but Monica also speaks about thinking aloud. I don't know what it is, so I ask our teacher, "What is thinking aloud?" Our teacher says, "It is a very effective technique. You need a strong motivation to learn English to benefit from this technique. It is also good to know that for some people, this technique may seem a little crazy, but when you start thinking aloud, your English can improve very quickly." I say, "I have strong motivation. I don't care if the technique seems crazy or not. I want to learn it." Then my teacher tells us how to do it. Thinking aloud is very simple. You speak English to yourself about what you do, what you see, what you hear, or what you want to do. You can do it everywhere. In your room, in your car, on the bus, or in the park. When you do it in your room, it is very simple. Just speak about what you are doing. For example, you are in the kitchen and you are cooking. You say to yourself, "Now I am preparing vegetables. I have a carrot and I am cutting it into small pieces." You speak about what you do and see. It is good to speak about what you see because this helps you learn new words. For example, you are in the park and you see people running, walking, talking, or playing. When you see these people, you speak about them aloud. If you don't know some words, look them up in a dictionary when you get home. This technique is great for practicing words and expressions you already know. You don't have to speak perfectly. You just have to speak. I like this technique and want to try it. After school, I go to work. I work at a cafe. I don't know what I have to do because it is my first day, but the manager tells me what to do, and I try to understand everything. The work is not difficult, and my colleagues are very nice. They help me with everything. When I come home, I think about my day. I try the technique of thinking aloud and speak to myself about my day at work. I also want to know how Monica learns English. I hope that I will learn more tomorrow. When you want to learn English quickly, try to think aloud about your day. On Friday, I go to school and feel excited to learn more from Monica. Our teacher asks us to share our experiences with the techniques we've been practicing. When it's my turn, I talk about my first day at work and how I tried thinking aloud about my day. My teacher is pleased and encourages me to keep using the technique. Monica then shares her story. She explains how she combines reading, shadowing, and thinking aloud in her daily routine. Monica tells us, I start my day by reading for 30 minutes. I choose books or articles that interest me and that are slightly above my current level. When I come across new words, I write them down and look up their meanings. After reading, I spend some time shadowing. I watch videos or listen to podcasts and repeat what I hear, mimicking the pronunciation and intonation of the speakers. Throughout the day, I use the thinking aloud technique. I talk to myself about everything I do, see, and plan. This helps me practice using new words and structures I've learned. I also try to think in English as much as possible, avoiding translating from Italian in my head. Our teacher is very impressed with Monica's dedication and asks her to demonstrate her techniques to the class. Monica reads a short passage from a book she brought, then plays a video and shows us how she shadows it. Finally, she describes her morning routine using the thinking aloud method. Watching her is inspiring, and I realize that with enough practice and motivation, I can improve my English significantly. In the afternoon, I go to work at the cafe. I practice speaking English with my colleagues and customers, trying to use new words and phrases I've learned. My manager notices my effort and tells me that I'm doing a great job. I feel more confident and motivated to continue improving. Over the weekend, I decide to explore London. I visit famous landmarks like the British Museum, Buckingham Palace, and the Tower of London. While walking around, I practice the thinking aloud technique, describing everything I see and do. I also try to speak with locals whenever I get the chance, asking for directions or recommendations. Everyone is friendly and willing to help, which makes me feel more comfortable using English in real-life situations. On Monday, I return to school feeling more confident. Our teacher introduces a new topic, idioms and expressions used in everyday English. She explains that understanding idioms is essential for sounding more natural and fluent. We practice using idioms in sentences and conversations. I find this lesson particularly useful because idioms are often challenging to understand and use correctly. Throughout the week, I continue practicing all the techniques I've learned. I read books and articles, shadow videos and podcasts, think aloud, and use idioms in my conversations. I also spend time with my new friends from the football team and my colleagues from the cafe, which gives me more opportunities to practice speaking English in different contexts. One day, my teacher asks me to give a short presentation about my experience learning English. I feel nervous, but I know it's a great opportunity to practice my speaking skills. I prepare by writing down key points and practicing my presentation using the shadowing and thinking aloud techniques. When the day comes, I stand in front of the class and share my story. I talk about my journey from being a beginner to becoming more fluent, the techniques I've used, and how they've helped me. My classmates and teacher applaud my efforts, and I feel a sense of accomplishment. As the weeks go by, my English continues to improve. I become more confident in my speaking, reading, and listening skills. I make new friends, explore more of London, and enjoy my job at the cafe. My teacher is proud of my progress and encourages me to keep practicing and learning. Looking back, I realize that learning English has been a challenging but rewarding journey. The techniques I've learned, reading, shadowing, thinking aloud, and using idioms, have been incredibly effective. I've also discovered that immersing myself in the language and using it in real-life situations has been crucial to my improvement. My time in London is coming to an end, but I know that my journey with English is far from over. I'm determined to continue practicing and learning, no matter where I am. I'm grateful for my teacher, Monica, and all the people I've met along the way who have helped and supported me. When you want to learn English quickly and effectively, remember to use it for communication. Practice techniques like shadowing and thinking aloud, and immerse yourself in the language. With dedication and motivation, you can achieve your goals and enjoy the process of learning. My final week in London arrives, and it's a bittersweet feeling. I've grown so much in my English abilities and made many wonderful memories. Our teacher announces that we'll have a special event on Friday to celebrate our progress and say our goodbyes. Each student will share a brief presentation or a story about their learning experience. Throughout the week, I spend time preparing my presentation. I decide to talk about the techniques that helped me the most and share some of the funny and challenging moments I experienced while learning English. I practice my speech using the shadowing and thinking aloud techniques to ensure I'm confident and fluent on the day. Friday comes, and there's a festive atmosphere in the classroom. We've decorated the room with flags from our home countries and brought in snacks to share. Each student takes a turn presenting, and it's incredible to see how much everyone has improved. We cheer and clap for each other, proud of the progress we've made. When it's my turn, I stand up and take a deep breath. I begin my presentation by recounting my journey from being a beginner to becoming more fluent. I talk about the importance of reading, shadowing, and thinking aloud, and how these techniques transformed my learning process. I share anecdotes about my first day at work, my exploration of London, and the friends I made on the football team. The class laughs and nods in agreement when I mention the challenges of understanding idioms and my initial struggles with pronunciation. I end my presentation by thanking my teacher, Monica, and my classmates for their support and encouragement. The applause is loud, and I feel a deep sense of accomplishment and gratitude. After the presentations, we have a small party. We eat, drink, and share stories from our time in London. It's a wonderful way to wrap up our learning experience. My teacher gives each of us a certificate of completion and a small gift to remember our time at the school. She tells us that we've all made significant progress and encourages us to continue practicing and learning. Before I leave, I exchange contact information with my classmates and promise to keep in touch. Monica and I chat about our plans for the future, and she gives me some final tips on continuing my English practice. She emphasizes the importance of consistency and finding enjoyable ways to use the language daily. On my last day in London, I take a walk around the city, reflecting on my journey. I visit my favorite spots and think about how far I've come. I remember my first day, feeling nervous and unsure, and compare it to now, where I feel confident and excited about my English skills. As I pack my bags and get ready to head home, I feel a mix of emotions. I'm sad to leave London, but excited to take my new skills and experiences back with me. I know that my journey with English doesn't end here. It's just the beginning. I plan to continue reading, shadowing, thinking aloud, and immersing myself in English as much as possible. Back home, I keep in touch with my friends from London through messages and video calls. I continue to practice my English daily using the techniques I learned. I join an English book club, participate in online language exchange programs, and watch English movies and TV shows. Months later, I receive an email from Monica. She's organizing a reunion for our class in London and invites us all to join. I'm thrilled at the prospect of returning and seeing everyone again. It's a chance to celebrate our continued progress and reconnect with friends who share the same passion for learning. When I arrive in London for the reunion, it feels like coming home. Seeing my classmates and teacher again is a joyful experience. We share our stories of progress and the challenges we faced. It's inspiring to see how everyone has continued to improve and grow. As we celebrate together, I realize that learning a language is a lifelong journey. It requires dedication, practice, and a willingness to embrace challenges. But with the right techniques and a supportive community, it's a journey filled with joy, growth, and endless possibilities. The reunion ends with a promise to stay connected and support each other in our language learning journeys. I leave London once again, but this time with an even stronger sense of confidence and determination. I know that with the tools and techniques I've learned, I can continue to improve my English and achieve my goals. When you want to learn English, remember that it's not just about studying. It's about living the language. Use it in your daily life. Find joy in the process and connect with others who share your passion. With perseverance and the right mindset, you can achieve fluency and enjoy the incredible journey of language learning. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to our channel and like the video. Don't forget to comment below and let us know what you think or share your thoughts. Your support helps us create more content for you. See you in the next video.